some stress. Hey, this is Rich. You're watching my YouTube channel where I play awesome tabletop RPGs with friends. This is the normal slot for intercontinental group of awesome, but we're not intercontinental. We're single continental. We're like single nation. So use the USicans version of the IGOA. But that's okay because it's a nice intimate game of Heroine or Heroine. It is not the drug. It is a game that is created by Ginger Goat Press, written by Josh Jordan, and the idea behind it is to emulate the young young female protagonist who is overcoming adversity in fantastical ways. So Alice in Wonderland, Wizard of Oz, Coraline, personal favorite, Labyrinth, all of these are great examples of the epitome of a game of heroine or heroine, but not the drug. So we have U.S. Continental, yes, we're us Continental, monocontinental. Yes, I love all of the synonyms for what is not the intercontinental group of awesome. We're just the cadre of awesome, chapter 4 of, I don't know, I'm going to shut up now. I will be the narrator. And a great little thing about Heroine is that the narrator can shift between chapters. Not a clear delineation between a chapter being a session. I actually think that it feels like the events that take place within a chapter would not comprise an entire game session. But at the end of each chapter, if a particular player who's playing a companion has enough drama points and the desire to take over, they can become a narrator, and then the player of the narrator, or the narrator player, would switch to become a companion. There are three character or player types: the narrator, me, for now, then the heroine or heroine, not the drug, which will be played by Andrea, and then everybody who is not the heroine and not a narrator is a companion. The companions are characters like from Labyrinth. Sir Didymus was an amazing companion. So amazing that perhaps he was the name of a ferret I once owned. Just saying that Sir Didymus has a special place in my heart. The Cowardly Lion was a companion. In Coraline, the best friend, little boy best friend, was a companion. So there are lots of examples. They're usually fantastical creatures who exist in the other side. This is often a two-world kind of thing, and that's definitely what we'll go for here. And so we'll start off by learning a little bit about Andrea's character, and then we'll learn about the companion. So Andrea, can you tell us a bit about Ellie?
Sure. She's a 12-year-old girl. Her parents are going through a divorce. It's not finalized. Dad has moved out, but his things are still in the house. And she doesn't get to see either of her parents very often. So she's a lonely little girl.
Lonely little 12-year-old girl. Oh my goodness. It's very sad.
hmm
And Will, tell us a little bit about your companion player.
My companion is Lord L. Um, he is a shadow creature. He's a shadow of someone who's no longer, he's not attached to his corporeal person any longer. And so he's just kind of wandering, unconnected and alone.
Oh my goodness. That is so sad. I feel more sad for Ellie because you have like shadow powers, I would assume. But pretty sad for you, little Lorg. Not Lorg, but Lorg.
No,
It's
the
very
H is silent. Yeah.
it's just all right, cool. Do you get indignant about that if someone does the?
I can, because people for some reason always want to say Lahorg, and that's a totally different person that is not me, and I'm not a nice guy.
I'm going to write that down. All right, that's been recorded. The way that this game works is in chapters, and in the first chapter, we start off in the day-to-day, the everyday world that Ellie exists in, and so it is suggested that the heroine player begins by telling us a little bit about her day-to-day life. And then I, as the narrator, I'll kind of pick up and react to that, and I'll probably be asking a lot of questions. We'll get to know what life is like for her, and what kind of challenges that she faces. So what is, just to kind of lead off, Andrea, what is the major challenge that Ellie faces in her life, if you were to boil it down, or if you have an inkling? If not, we can discover it and play.
So I think it's loneliness, but it's also an unwillingness to fix the loneliness, if you know what I mean. So she's like a 12-year-old girl. Like, her parents have split up, and she's very lonely. But rather than like go hang out with her friends, because she's a 12-year-old girl, she has friends, she just goes home and spends the time by herself, which kind of keeps the problem rolling.
It does. I've read books that say that. So, okay. All right. Well, let's start off. Where is it that Ellie lives? Just a general idea for, like, is it temperate? Is it cool, cold? Is it a warm climate? Where are we at?
It's it's a temperate climate, so it's like 60, 70 degrees, maybe fall.
Okay.
Like maybe outside the window, there's some pretty leaves.
All right. Cool. So fall. I like that. I like that a lot. Does she live in like a suburb area?
Oh yeah, she lives on a cul-de-sac.
Ooh. Neat. I like cul-de-sacs.
Her house is very white. Like, all the carpeting is white, the walls are white, the tiles are white. Like, all the interior decoration is just, that perfect coordination where it's just like that light tan color. So it's still white-ish, but it's a little offset, but it's not so offset it's alarming or eye-drawing.
All right. So when we pick up, is Ellie in her room?
Yeah, I think Ellie's just come home from school.
Nice. All right. So she comes home from school, backpack, I imagine. What's on her backpack? I'm really curious about that.
Let's see. Her
I'm just saying the
backpack?
backpacks are like the key to a
Oh
lot
my
of
God,
things.
it is totally. It is totally. So her backpack, it's an old beat up backpack. It's her backpack from last year, and it's got there's some wear and tear on it. And it's got like, it's pink. It's got like a Hello Kitty, but the Hello Kitty thing, it's one of those like iron-on decals that's just
Ooh.
like safety pinned on there. It didn't actually originally come on the backpack.
Did she do that herself?
She totally did that herself.
That is so sad.
I'm sorry, I broke you already.
No, it's good. It's good. We start off low so that all the highs are super high. This is great. This is perfect. I love it. She's a super happy day. Then when she goes to the crazy world, she'll be like, I just want to get back to my happy life. Okay, that is great. Cool. So she comes in. Is this? She's coming home from school. Do school uniforms, or how is she dressed?
No, not school uniform. So it's just jeans and probably like one of those long sleeve like flannel tops over a t-shirt. And she like comes in and takes off her shoes right inside the front door, and there's like a really neat row of shoes that are there's one pair that stands out because they're all white, right? And they're all feminine except for one pair of black men's dress shoes.
Oh wow, wow! And those were just left there, and they haven't been thrown away or moved or anything.
Yep.
Wow, cool. Is Ellie the kind of girl that when she comes home she announces her presence, or does she just shut the door loudly or anything like that?
No, she shuts the door and then goes into the kitchen for snacks.
Nice.
Doesn't really announce to anybody she's around.
Cool. I think when she does, she walks past it. There's like this low hum from the television, and she'll walk past, and the camera scans in, and we see the back of Ellie's mom, we would assume, and she's sitting at like a little desk that's at her chair, but it's in the living room, so she's kind of set up an office in the living room, and she's just clicking away on the keyboard, and then camera follows Ellie to the kitchen. Is this a nicer house? Like, this is a big like kitchen with an island where she?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this is suburbia house. I mean, I'm sure the neighbor's house is identical, but
Also white, like
Oh yeah, everything is white.
all the appliances white. I imagine it's one of those where all the cabinets are white, but they have the glass see-through cabinet. We can see all,
Of
and everything's perfectly arranged. All the
course.
glasses are like awesome. Cool. I think one thing that we see before we get into the kitchen, that the camera just lingers on it for a moment, is there's a white wall, but there's this kind of shadow of what was probably like a picture frame at one point that isn't
Mhm.
there anymore. It's just one of those where like there's just that weird outline of a thing that's been there for a while, and now it's just been moved and is disappeared. So then you come in, and what kind of snack does Ellie fix for herself?
Oh, there's like a big like bowl of fruit, and she's gonna grab an apple.
Nice, cool. Okay. Yes, she grabs an apple, and then what does she do after she grabs her apple? She linger around or head up to her room or anything?
She'll kind of linger, with the like she'll kind of come out, wait to be noticed for a few seconds when mom doesn't turn around. She'll be like, "Hi, mom, I'm home,"
Nice.
with that just
Yeah,
edge of hope.
cool. Dr. Phil is on. Um, and your mom is doing the watching the laptop, and then she keeps kind of looking over her left shoulder. And when she does, she should catch you out of the periphery, like in the peripheral vision, because you're standing right at the doorway to the living room. I imagine it's one of those like uh, hallways that kind of split the house type deal. So you've walked very obviously, you're standing on the cusp of the living room, but you haven't actually walked in and waiting to be noticed. And she hasn't noticed you at all. And you say, "Oh, hi, mom," and she turns, she goes, "Oh, nice day at school," and then her
Yeah.
face is right back to the laptop.
And poor little Ellie's like, "Yeah, it was really good. They're telling us next week we get to dissect frogs."
Uh huh.
Yeah.
Click, 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 click.
I'll leave the permission slip on the counter, I guess.
Uh huh. Okay, I'll take care of that. Do you have any tests or anything?
No, not this week.
Well,
I could
great.
make a shoebox diagram.
Um, do you need help with that or anything?
Well, Dad usually helps me.
She does this little sigh and turns in her little swivel chair, and she looks at you. She's dressed nice. She's in a dress and a nice blouse. She dresses up for work even if she works from home for the day. And she says, "Honey, your dad can't help you with that.
Why not?
Well, he's not here, and we're still working that out. Now, is this something that can wait till the weekend? I'm sure that we could arrange something."
I guess. It's not due till Monday.
Okay. Well, I will call your dad, and we'll see if we can set something up. And you two can work on the shoebox then. Just make sure you have everything ready because we'll need to work here, and I've got some work that's going on this weekend. So I'll really need you to make sure you're organized and that you don't dilly or dally. All right?
Okay.
Okay. Well, good. Is there anything else?
No. Thanks, Mom.
You're welcome, sweetie. And then she turned right back around to her computer and starts clicking away. I think this will be like the first moment when we see like a flicker of something here that could be Lorg related. What the little hint that we might have?
I think when she turns away, I guess to go upstairs,
Hmm.
um, yeah, her shadow kind of remains on the ground for just a moment before it catches up with her.
Nice. Very, very clever. Love that. Cool. So we follow kind of over the shoulder there, third person, following Ellie up the stairs. What does her room look like?
So her room, much like the room below, It's done primarily in white. Like there's a pink bedspread. There's like a little like Hello Kitty doll on the pillow. But it's very neat. Like it's supernaturally neat for a 12-year-old girl. Everything just has its place, and nothing looks like she's ever touched it.
Wow, that's awesome. Cool. Do you have like a window that overlooks the street, or does it look at another house? Because I imagine it's cookie cutter kind of
hmm
cul-de-sac.
I think it probably overlooks the neighbor's house.
Cool. What's the relationship like with the neighbor?
The neighbor, there's a bunch of them. It's one of those houses where there's like 5 kids, and they're various ages, and there's always yelling and screaming, and the kids are always it's that love-hate relationship that they have with each other, where if they're not playing, they're screaming at each other, and
Nice.
it's there's 5 of them, so it's always 3 against 2 in some capacity. And so their house is like unlike Ellie's house, which is all like white. Like through their windows, there's like a lot of color and there's a lot of action and there's music blaring and
Nice.
toys all over the yard.
Any of the that's awesome. I love the toys all over the yard. Any of these kids Ellie's age? Does she go to school with
Yeah,
any
there's a
of them?
little boy, in Ellie's class.
We're gonna call that kid Tom. And that means you two, age of 12, 6th grade.
Yes, ish. You, without thinking about it, you would probably know better than I would.
I just took 10, which is 4th, added 2 to it and said 6th. That's
Good
how I got
job.
there. I could be totally wrong because of weird birthdays, but
By and large, you should be about correct.
yeah. Awesome. Cool. So what does Ellie do with her snack? And I'm just going to get like we'll start to speed things up a little bit, but I'm just when she settles in, what is that like?
Actually, what she's going to do is she's going to put her snack kind of down on the corner of her desk, and then she sets her backpack down on the desk chair, opens it up, and she'll pull out like a notebook or something that she's supposed to be working on. And then she's going to open her bedroom door, kind of peer out down the hall, and of course there's no mom coming. And then she it's very deliberate tiptoeing across the hall to what is obviously mom's room.
Okay.
And she's going to open up the door, and she kind of rustles around in the closet for a moment and pulls out like a man's like business jacket and kind of wraps herself up in it, and then she's going to kind of fling herself down on the bed and open up her homework.
Oh wow, that's pretty awesome. Cool. So she is wearing it like an overcoat.
Yep.
Does she have her hands like through this? There's it
Oh
just
yeah,
like
it's quite adorable.
that is pretty adorable and kind of sad. Awesome.
That's what I'm here for.
Whew. Wow, that's good stuff. Oh man, that's cool. All right, so the first chapters where we kind of talk about that opening, and I think we've done a good job of getting to know Ellie's everyday life. So we're going to speed up a little bit of time here. And so once Ellie's done with all of her homework, we don't have a actual analog clock, but I imagine time has passed. Maybe with the digital clock, the nice white digital clock with his blue, like the time starts to speed up, and we see the sun starting to go down. Here eventually, as you finished up your homework, what are you doing when your mother calls up and says dinner's ready?
She'll yell back, "I'll be down in a minute," and then she'll take and I feel like this is a ritual. Like she'll take the jacket off and put it on her own desk chair, and
Mm-hmm.
then and then she'll kind of pad downstairs. The apple's still sitting there completely untouched.
Nice. What is the kind of supper that your mother fixes for you, Ellie? Is this a low
Uh,
effort thing, or is she big into showy food, or does she order food?
it's probably something like spaghetti. It's not like a box meal, but it's also not a lot of cooking finesse.
Nice. Yeah, so you come down and the camera's not going to see it, but you smell the zesty tomato sauce, and you come down, you see that in the sink is the colander with the noodles. Sitting on the stove is the saucepan with spaghetti sauce in it. There's a canister of Parmesan grated cheese, and she also on top of the stove to the right of the saucepan is a pan with some garlic bread, which is basically just like a baguette that she cut in half, flipped it over, slathered butter, threw some garlic salt on, shoved it in, and it's done. And when you come, she's sitting at the island on one of the little stools, and she has a bowl of spaghetti, like a quarter of one of the little garlic bready baguettes, and she has her laptop up, and she looks like she's completely zoned in on the laptop. Looks up just for a second and says, "Oh, just make yourself a plate." And then she's tapping away, and you can hear her kind of angrily tapping. I can't believe this. And she's quiet again for a little bit as you fix your bowl of spaghetti. Do you sit in there? There is an actual formal dining room in this house. When was the last time you ate there?
The last time we ate there was 2 Christmases ago.
Wow, big family thing.
Yep.
Nice,
Yep.
nice. So once Ellie gets her food gathered up, does she pull up a stool? Does she head back up to her room? What does she do?
She'll do the thing where she'll make her bowl and kind of hover on the other side of the island, kind of poking at her spaghetti and stirring it up. And when Mom very clearly does not look up from her work, she'll kind of pick up her bowl and shuffle upstairs with it.
Nice, cool. Yeah. So she shuffles upstairs with the bowl, and your mom never acknowledges that. She's completely drawn into whatever she's obsessing over at work. Do you actually eat the food? And by the way, spaghetti on all of that white, it's got to be a little dicey.
I know. It'll be fine. She'll eat a few bites, but then I think that you get set down next to the apple.
That's the plan. Cool. So hold on. I'm sorry, I asked that question, but it
Totally
made
fine.
it feel like you're actually in the room. So yeah, the plan is that you'll probably have a few bites, end up by the apple.
Hmm.
That's good to know. So when you come up into the room, Ellie, the jacket is gone.
So she'll put it down without taking a few bites next to the apple. And then she'll kind of search like under her desk and then look kind of around the bed. Okay, I know I put it here. I think I put it here. She'll go, and when she doesn't see it, she'll go back to see if it wandered back into the closet.
Head back into the closet, and before we had seen that there were like manly hat boxes up top, and there a couple of the suits that were in those like travel bag type deals. They're all gone. There were like 5 suits here. There were a few dress shirts. There was a little rack of ties. It's all gone. Like all of it is gone.
Oh. So Ellie will abandon the upstairs and go. She's been moving very quietly, very deliberately, quietly, and slowly up until this point, and she'll just abandon all that and like run headlong downstairs. Mom, did you move Dad's stuff?
She's closing her laptop when you come down, and she says, "I have not touched your father's things. Ellie, I have got to go into the office. I don't even want to get into it, but let's just say that there's a major issue and I have to go into the office. Are you good to be here by yourself for a couple hours? You're definitely a grown-up little girl. I will be back in a couple hours. I've got my mobile with me. Do you mind? Is this okay?
Yeah, that's okay, but what about Dad's things?
What about that things? He obviously doesn't need it. We're not his storage unit. I didn't touch it though. Maybe I don't know. We'll worry about it later, okay? I've got to go. And she's slipping her laptop into like this little nice little fashion bag. It's all white, and she throws it over her shoulder. That jingle of keys that she pulls out of her bag, and she starts to walk briskly towards the front door. And as you do, the camera kind of lingers, and your eyes linger as well. And she walks past the area of the row of shoes, and the dad shoes are gone too. And she opens the door and says, "I love you, honey. Have a good time tonight. Go ahead, watch all the TV you want." Closes the door. Ba-chong!
And Ellie's just kind of left standing there like, but they were in the closet. So she
It's
turns
alright.
around. That's okay. There's just the full like couple seconds of just silent staring after her. So she'll turn around and kind of pad back upstairs, and well, because Mom says they must be in here somewhere, they must be in here somewhere. So she's going to start really digging deep into the closet, looking for them because they must be there.
Nice. Cool. So then you come digging deep into the closet, and there is, you're kind of moving through a bunch of dresses, and this is a walk-in closet, and there's this like really dark patch in the back where, it's just like this is where you shove the shoes that don't fit anymore, or are too ratty, or out of fashion, and so you're kind of going through all of that, and then there's a whole big like black garbage bag filled with clothes, and you go through that, and then there's some like old yard sale stuff, and it just shows you start crawling through this morass, and it just keeps going, and it's starting to get colder and colder as you dig through, until finally you go over one last little garbage bag, and you land, and it's still really dark, but the floor feels grassy and a little like cooler to the touch. What do you do?
It's dark, I can't see anything.
Do you think there might be a little bit of light, but it's weird because it kind of has that feeling of natural light, not that stark white, which your mom replaced everything with the eco bulbs, so it has that very harsh. And there's a lot of LEDs in the bathrooms and stuff. And none of that. It's more of a natural like sunlight light. It's in a like a beam, like a horizon ahead.
Oh. I think I'm going to grab. There's like an old ugly Christmas sweater that's been
Nice.
stuck back here, and kind of pull it on, and then I'm going to keep going towards that light because I think probably looking around, that's probably the only light I see.
Nice. It is. So cool. You continue forward, walking. Is Ellie barefoot? You took your shoes off, so you have
Socks.
socks,
Socks.
right? So your socks are starting to get a little wet. And as you come through, you actually see that there was like a shelf, a natural shelf, like a rocky shelf. And so you come underneath it, and there's sunlight, and you are on, like, you're looking out onto this land, and at one point, this was probably some kind of farmland, uh, but a lot of the crops are torn up, and there are these weird like holes in the ground, all circular kind of holes. and it's the sun is setting, so it's like it feels like it'd be like 7 o'clock on a normal day. Oh, by the way, it is time for the ice cream truck, so we will take a break.
I feel like Ellie needs ice cream. Sorry, this took so long, Will.
No, that's fine. I don't mind. This is more of a story of Ellie and her troubles.
She has a lot of them, apparently.
She does. I envision, it's funny, this big long closet. The further back you get, the more color you have. So that's where you stuff all the clothes that are not white.
It's probably not inaccurate. Because ugly Christmas sweaters can't be white.
Right.
I'm excited to meet your character.
I'm nervous to meet my character.
Why?
We'll see. I don't know.
It'll be fun.
It will. How much trouble I cause.
Somebody has to cause trouble in Ellie's life.
I was as one of the ice cream trucks stopped right outside his window. Just open your window, yell at them. You don't need any ice cream. Go away.
Rich is a responsible adult, unlike myself. Wish I lived in a place that had ice cream trucks roving around,
Yeah,
preying on the innocent and hungry.
We have some in the summer, but it pipes in Tejani music or something. So.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
Oh my God, Texas, why?
It's an ice cream van, more or less. Which is, some guy basically bought a van and bought a chest of ice cream, so it's kind of questionable, I guess. I don't know. I don't ever go. It's scary.
So there's a major river that splits Jacksonville, the St. John's, and if you live across that, you have, and you're south of Jacksonville, you go across one bridge. It's a big bridge, but it's always slow. So I moved across the river to live near where I work, but we used to live in Orange Park, which was on the other side of the river, and there was an ice cream truck. It's Florida. Ice cream's a good idea because it's hot. So it's a rather profitable business. In the neighborhood where we lived, the ice cream truck, no lie, the music that it played was La Cucaracha.
Oh my God.
Which, tune-wise, it's a fun little tune.
Uh-huh.
Something about, I've heard the cockroach song, I want to go buy ice cream, seems to be weird for me.
Yeah. It's also, it's kind of fun and enjoyable the first time, not the 20th. It makes laps.
It makes laps, yes.
Does your ice cream truck now just play ice cream truck music?
Well, on this side of the river, yeah, it's I don't know. I think it is from a musical. But I could hum it for my wife and she would identify it. I want to hum it for you because I can't completely recall the tune because I just push it out of my brain. Because I have ice cream. I can get a half gallon for what you can get one little thing of ice cream from my place.
Mm-hmm.
You're such a Scrooge. I love it.
What? I love ice cream. I don't want to limit my... Like, I have a budget, and I love ice cream. That is way out of my budget, their ice cream. So it's just silliness.
That's what makes you an adult.
I guess.
Budgets.
Stupid adulting. So... You are looking on, again, what was once probably a beautiful farmland, but it is pitted with these giant goverholes or something. There is in the slight distance, you can see that there is there's like a farmhouse, and then farther away, it looks like there's a village. And then farther past that village, there's the beginning of a wooded area, and you can actually even see there's a small castle. Small from distance. Not sure how big the castle is from this point. Off to the other side, that's all off to the west, to the east. There's more and more land. The farmland gives way to shrub and becomes a bit more barren, and then you see that rises up to a very large mountain, becomes snowier. It's colder and colder up as it. You can see more and more snow, and there are evergreen trees, but they all are kind of frosted with Bob Ross style snow on it until it hits a peak. And on the peak, it looks like there may be a small like a plateau type area with some like a village, but it's hard to tell from this distance. It gets really fuzzy with distance, and that's what you see before you. And so it turns out, as you are gaining a view of the land, Lorg, someone is standing on you.
Ow!
Oh,
Do you mind?
I'm sorry. And she'll step off.
I was here first.
I'm
These are
sorry.
these are all mine. You can't have them.
What's yours?
And you see a collection of single socks from various designs.
Oh, I have my own, but thank you. It shows her damp little socks, wiggling her little toes in the frost.
Oh dear, no shoes. Huh. Well, you can't have my shoes either.
Where is this?
So Ellie's been talking to like a distant voice, not sure where they are, I assume. Like, has she realized that she's talking to a shadowy creature? What do we see from Lorg?
You see, it starts on the ground, obviously, and just like a normal shadow would, but then at some point it kind of rises up, so it is three-dimensional.
Nice.
Just kind of, maybe he's sitting on a rock, if that's kind of where it is, but
Is he actually three-dimensional or is he two-dimensional?
What's our budget here?
mix.
That's what I want to know.
Yeah. Most time is two-dimensional, but it can become three-dimensional at times. Yes.
Nice.
Got it. So where is this?
This is here. What do you mean? Where is this? This is the forest.
I thought I was in my parents' closet.
I'm not familiar with the town of Parents Closet, but I guess we could visit. I don't know where that is.
If Ellie turns and looks behind her where she came from, what's there?
Oh, so like a little, like a little cave, like a little dugout type area. Oh,
Well,
by the way, Lorg, that's a bomb shelter.
It's about, oh, where she walked out of?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I came from in here, and she'll turn around and start going back in.
Yeah, no bags, just like a little cavey area.
That is Durinder.
What's Sterinder?
That. The place you said you came out of, but I thought you said you came from Parents Closet.
Well, I did, but I guess it's Sterinder now.
I'm not familiar with that. Is Parents Closet near the coast, or I don't get down there often?
Now it's in their bedroom.
Bedroom. Okay. It's a country I'm not familiar with. Never mind. Okay. Why have you come here?
I don't know. I was looking for my dad's clothes, and I thought maybe they were in the back of the closet. But I guess not. This is the back of the closet.
You do say some strange things.
So, Lorg, You earlier observed someone also coming out of Durinder. But this person was similar to you in that they had like there was no flesh. It was just some clothing that was moving of its own volition, kind of rolling. It made its way towards the farmhouse.
Okay.
Also, as the two of you are talking, you hear a distant buzzing sound that grows until you hear several of them.
Is this a sound I'm familiar with?
It is the sound of the planes that come from the great mountain.
And they getting the sense that they are not a safe thing to be around?
No, because they bomb the farmlands and then fly away back to their safe mountain.
What is that?
That we don't need to be here. I think we should go into Durinder for a time. Those are the planes. It's not safe to be around.
But planes are good. We took a plane down to Florida once. It was a lot of fun.
These planes cause destruction. It's not a good thing to be around.
So we have to go back in there.
It would be best, yes. That's why I stay close.
So, Ellie, as you're talking to your good buddy Lorg here, I would imagine, glance up into the sky, and what you see are quad engine planes. I'm not sure how much Ellie has studied in military history, so I'm not going to worry about throwing out any crazy names, but they're prop planes. And they are all silver and very beautiful, flying in a formation that's very neat and orderly, and they are all moving steadily from the east towards the west, which is where you are.
That's the kind of plane Scooby-Doo flies, right? Or not Scooby-Doo,
Snoopy?
Snoopy.
These are not biplanes. They're more like World War II bombers, if that gives you a kind of...
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
And as they're getting closer, they're getting louder.
I think Lorg is kind of like, as much as Shadow can, try to press against Ellie to kind of urge her back into the shelter.
Okay.
Uh,
Maybe this will turn back into my parents' closet again.
Sure. Yeah, let's just get inside.
Toes are kind of cold.
Toes. Just a minute. And then darts off to where the pile of mismatched socks are and digs around and finds a couple of mismatched shoes. One is like a rubber galoshes, and another is a tennis shoe. Pink.
Nice. You get a rubber galosh and a pink tennis shoe.
Oh, good.
And they may be the same size.
Galosh is probably a little big. As the two of you, I assume, Ellie, you're not fighting the hide in a bomb shelter while the bombers are coming idea?
Right.
Yeah, that's a good choice. However, as you do, you glance back to that farmhouse, and you see someone in the window, and they are wearing your dad's jacket.
Hey, that's That's my dad's.
The bombers are very close, and you hear a kind of whistling sound, and there's a large explosion about half a mile from here in the middle of a farmland. Then there are more whistling sounds.
We have to go get that jacket. That's my dad's jacket.
But the bombs and the shelter's here, but the bombs are there.
The ground starts to shake from the impact of the first bomb.
I kind of want to go get the jacket.
I believe that we have a challenge.
Oh, this is such a bad idea. Holy crap.
It is. Okay, so I've challenged you at this point. So we're going to call this the end of the first chapter. And I have presented you with a challenge. Now you, as the heroine, may choose a move, and companion, because you did not get in trouble, and I didn't give you a whole lot to go on, so I'll take some responsibility for that not really happening, so I apologize for that. But because of that, I don't think you can actually spend to help.
Well, and I don't have any drama points at this point.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, is you have to get in trouble to be able to...
Oh, okay. To earn some. Okay.
To earn some, yeah.
Okay.
That was a little
Fair enough.
I should have set that up. Yeah, so how do you help the heroine? Right. All right, cool. So, there we go. Okay, so you have 3 choices for Ellie. You can be successful, be heroic, or take a chance. Which of these 3 responses or moves you want to try?
I want to be successful.
All right, and what you're trying to be successful at, so we're clear, is what is that you want to achieve?
I want to reach the farmhouse.
You want to reach the farmhouse without getting hurt or injured.
Yeah, blowed up.
Cool. So now you're going to roll 2d6.
That is a 6.
That is a 6. Okay,
Awesome.
On a 7 or lower, with be successful, you still manage to overcome the challenge, but you behave with childlike confusion, fear, or selfishness. Cool. So describe the heroine overcoming the narrator's challenge, but in a regrettable manner. So how is it that you make it to the farmhouse, but do it in a slightly regrettable way?
So I think poor Shadow Man here is trying his darndest to be an adult and try to be cautious, and she just totally ignores him and is just going to break off in a run. And, basically leave him in the lurch as to what, like, if something happens to her, it's kind of on him because he didn't stop her. But she doesn't care because she has to get to the farmhouse.
That is awesome. So I think that what we see then is Ellie just running off in a mad dash for the farmhouse. What does Lord do as he gets left behind, and why did he get left behind? Was he doing anything that caused him to get left behind?
Well, I think he was busy trying to gather up all his scattered possessions and thinking that she would go into the bomb shelter, and when he's turned his back on her, she's darted off, and so he turns back to the camera with a pile of shoes and socks, and she's gone.
I love this, like, the closet of lust clothing. I love that. That's kind of adorable. Sweet. So what does he do once he sees that she's taken off?
You know what? He screams and drops. Well, he starts running towards her, which basically causes a shoe to fall and then a couple of socks to fall and just everything. He's running with his pile of stuff, which slowly gets smaller and smaller as he gets closer.
I love that image. Cool. You are left with one item of clothing when you reach the farmhouse. What is it?
It is a Christmas striped wool sock.
Nice. Christmas striped wool sock is what you have. when you reach the porch of this farmhouse with Ellie. And the bombs are exploding, and it is getting. It's the point where it is shaking the ground. It almost feels like tremors from earthquakes. And the door is closed, Ellie. And I think this might be a good because I just got a text message about my son who is visiting a neighbor's house. So we are going to take our first break. Thank you both for letting me take that little break. That was good. There was some text back and forth with the neighbor who's my son is with, and it's all been worked out. There could be
Okay.
background noise around 3 o'clock, which is about 15 minutes from now, as they will be playing a new video game.
That's okay. We
Yes.
will work through it.
I have just seen a message from someone that Vincent Baker has updated his Patreon. So I'm going to go look at that while we are at break. It will take me just a moment. But he used a lot of exclamation points and a curse word, so I'm curious. I'm sorry. Please
That's
give me a
totally
moment.
fine. If you can't scope out Vincent Baker's Patreon page, what can you do?
Well, I am supposed to be running this game. I have responsibility. 36 minutes ago, he published Paco's World Fallen Empires.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know. Apocalypse World Fallen Empires is a fantasy sword and sorcery version of 9 of the original Apocalypse World playbooks, plus the rules changes you need in order to play with them. Clicking on the book, the link, going to download it as fast as possible. Is the playbooks are The Bone Picker, The Child of Battle, The Hocus, The Mesmerist, The Mystic, The Nightshade, The Strongholder, and The Swordmaster.
So he took Apocalypse and the Apocalypse World stuff and put it in like
Reskinned it
medieval
to.
stuff?
Yeah, that's
Got it.
awesome.
Just trying to figure out what page we're on.
We're on the page with that stuff.
Like the 1100s. Okay, can do that.
Yeah, about. Let me just go ahead and stick that in my Lumply. I actually have a Apocalypse World folder for Apocalypse World and the various hacks. Come on! RPG books. This is on my Apocalypse World, Fallen Empires. I have interest in freebooting Venus, but haven't actually read through it.
Don't know what that is.
That is a new thing Vincent Baker released playbooks for, and rules is, I don't know, it's some kind of thing. It's a thing. Okay. So you are now standing on the porch of a farmhouse. It is a single-level dwelling that it's very antiquated, like antebellum style farmhouse, not antebellum plantation house. Does that make sense? So it's about maybe it's a 4-room type of establishment. There is a chimney. There is an actual front porch with an extension, of the roof. Look at the, I don't know what you call that thing. I'm not very good with architecture. The things on the columns that you can stand under when it's raining. The world is vibrating, and we have bombs that are taking place, and then there's a nice stout brown wood door here that is locked, and there are windows on either side of the door with pane glass, but the curtains are closed and no one is opening that door. Ellie, what do you want to do?
So I think when Lord comes up, she's standing like at the door, like rattling it and pushing against it, and it's obviously not moving because it's locked. And she kind of turns around with this sort of panicked look, and she's like, "It's locked. It won't open."
It, I, 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 well, I don't live here. I don't have the key.
I don't live here. I love that. That's his answer.
I, Hilda, I want to do a thing, but I don't know if I can do it. I can't do a thing yet because I don't have.
Totally do a thing.
You can do a thing.
How can I do a
It's
thing?
only when, yeah, do a thing. What do you want to do?
I want to slide under the crack in the door.
Is that a thing your shadow can do?
I am good at being sneaky.
All right.
Yeah,
Well,
would
you're
be kinda
2D, but
sneaky.
3D sometimes. So if you're 2D right now, you can totally slide under that door, and that is no problem.
So I think when I decide to slide under the door, obviously I drop my sock because I can't hold it.
So there's a striped Christmas sock that marks the passage of your new friend Lorg, Ellie. So I am curious, though, Lorg, you seem to want to help this young girl out of nowhere. Why is that? Why do you care?
Well, everything I see is without color. Everything, like even these socks, I don't see the color that they have, which is why I don't know that they don't match, other than patterns. Um, but ever since Ellie has arrived, she is in color, and so
Oh,
it's quite intriguing.
cool. Now, not that this has happened, but if she were to put on that sock, would you all of a sudden see that sock in color, do you think?
Interesting. I think you know what? Because I'm seeing Ellie's clothes in color, I think I might do that.
Hmm. We'll have to play with this. But then I want to know what happens to the sock after Ellie takes it off.
Right, right.
It's crazy. It's just like Schrodinger's cat kind of thing. All right, awesome. So you slip underneath the door, and there is a woven rug. It's kind of butted up, but no problem for you. But it's enough to kind of keep some of the chill out. There's a fireplace off to the side, and um, there's a large chest, and then a huge, almost looks like a split log table where people could eat. And you see standing standing is the wad of clothes, but the wad of clothes now has like shoes, like two shoes, which are mismatched. One's like a brown loafer, the other one's a nice dress shoe, and all the clothes are like in a ball, but the shoes are just like about this much space of air, but it's somehow supporting the clothes. And then the hat. Um, so you see that. The rest of the farmhouse is empty, and the bombs are still coming, and they seem to be getting closer. What do you wish to do?
I think maybe I'm getting into trouble because I think because of my flaw being flighty, I've probably gotten distracted by this ball of clothes and any other clothes I may happen to see and forgotten to unlock the door.
That sounds amazing. Okay, cool. So when you're distracted by the clothes, this is kind of thing where you want to start gathering pieces off of this clothes
Yes.
thing and building a new hall. That is amazing. Awesome. Ellie, it's been a couple minutes, and the door has not opened. So perhaps your shadowy friend has not successfully figured out the lock. Or maybe he left you. What do you do?
Oh. She'll pick up the sock and then she'll knock on the door a couple of times. There's that awkward realization where she doesn't realize she ever asked its name.
That's awesome. Shadow dude. Uh, cool. So as you knock on the door, there is an explosion in the house.
Oh God.
Lorg, as a bomb falls on the corner of the house. It is a dud. However, there's a giant hole up to the sky, and you see more planes coming your way, and you hear the whistling. And it is also coming around you, Elliot. There's one just maybe 100 feet to your left. One bomb that hits and explodes and throws you to the ground.
Oh.
Yeah, so Ellie, you don't like it's enough where it was just a concussive force and
Hmm.
terrifying, but there are bombs literally dropping all around you, all around.
Such a bad idea for some reason.
Silvery bombs that give off icy explosions,
Ooh.
and yeah, so one of them just crashed in, and it almost looks like somebody just threw an ice sculptured bomb straight through into the cabin where you are, the farmhouse where you are right now. Um, and yeah, so that's probably dangerous, little Lorg. And Ellie, it does not appear you did knock. So amid the din, you did hear a soft knock at the door, Lorg. Maybe an insistent knock. Could be
A
possibly more insistent
little
than
more
soft.
insistent
Yeah.
than soft.
Um, okay. I think of probably uh, picking among the clothes, and then it's like I start to hear and oh, and dart off to the door.
Sweet. Cool. So this I don't even call this a full chapter, and this is the point where Rich's understanding of heroin probably falls a bit short here because I really like this as a kind of challenge of now because Lord took so long to open the door, this is going to lead to the potential consequence of bombs going around you. People could get hurt. I could introduce an injury here. Now, I like what you did from with your move of getting into trouble. So let's see how that works. So there's a thing you can do. Introduce your companion. Get in trouble. Okay, um, so let's resolve this get in trouble by rolling 2d6. Cool. So let's do that. Yeah. All right, so we're stepping back
Oh,
just a little bit so I can make sure I do the rules of a game that has rules. Please roll 2d6 and let's see how
ooh,
that goes.
that's not good. That's a 3.
Okay. All right. If the total is 8 or lower, you gain 3 drama points. There are only a total of 14, so you're going to gain 3 and the kitty loses a few. Now, I'm going to use text, I think. And let's see.
I moved my little counter up to 3.
Well, that's how we'll track. That's right over my mouth. I don't love that.
I don't know what's happening, but it's very entertaining.
Cool. Okay, so I have 0 drama points right now, and I just reflect that. Okay, so you just got 3 drama points. Good job. All right. Another update from neighbor person, and we're good. Okay, so you have 3 drama points, and now what happens when you roll that is that now you have a penalty to your roll during this chapter's challenge, which is coming up soon. So yay! Yeah, you're distracted. You same narrations. You're distracted. You realize, oh, there was someone. Or I'm sorry. What? Where? Remind me. Well, Lorg was playing with the clothes. Hears the knocking. There's a hesitation, but yeah, I imagine he's eventually going to figure out. Oh yeah, Ellie wanted you to
Yep.
open the door.
There was a
Come
reason
in.
I came into this house, other than to collect more clothes.
So when the shadow opens the door, he has some of your father's clothes. His favorite tie, which you bought for him when you were 8,
It's wrapped around my forehead.
is wrapped around his forehead. What is the cartoon character on this tie, Ellie?
The cartoon character is the Cat in the Hat.
The Cat in the Hat. This is his Cat in the Hat shirt, tie. Is most definitely your father's because it has that little ketchup stain right by the hat, the one in the middle.
Oh no. Yeah. So Ellie's kind of picking herself up because there was a bomb
Yes.
when the door opens, and she's like, "That's his tie," and she'll
Nope.
basically give you like the world's biggest hug, or
Oh,
try to. I'm not sure if that works on shadow people,
I
but
don't know. Does that work on shadow people?
When they are three-dimensional, yes, they can interact. It kind of little puffs of shadow smoke, kind of like when you squeeze and kind of puffs from where you squeeze. But yeah,
Nice. So you puff when squeezed. You're like a Pillsbury Doughboy of shadow.
yes.
Sweet. This bombing run passes overhead, and no further bombs land directly here. But there is the smoking ruins of the farmland, and this unexploded bomb. It's a dud, I'm sure. That is in the farmhouse with you, and then of course you can see the sun, and you see that they're turning, and the planes are headed back towards the mountain. But hey, you've retrieved your father's clothes. Most of them are with your friend, Borg. There are others that are floating above a pair of shoes.
here, I found your sock.
Wait, is it? That's okay. Did you just pick it up, or did you like? I guess you didn't put it on. You're just holding it.
Yeah,
It's that's not mine. It
you dropped
looks
it.
different.
Well, you dropped it, and she's kind of looked from you to the sock to you, and then her eyes kind of look behind you, and they widen a little bit. They're like, you found all of my dad's clothes. Are you making them do that?
I found clothes. They are there really your dad's? I guess, but
Yeah.
I'm no, I'm not making them do that. I, I, I thought that was the way of clothes. That isn't. They were like that when they came out of the um, came out earlier.
And she'll go up and she
Uh,
kind of circles around them, kind of like awed that they're floating. And she's gonna reach out and poke the bundle.
When you poke the bundle, it is soft and pliable, and then it starts to walk away from you, and then turn and start to walk towards the back of the house.
Where's it going?
Here's the back door. It seems to be headed towards the back door.
that's what they were doing when they came out of Durinder, before you came out. Um, apparently, they have an engagement.
She's
Did
going to
your dad's clothes not act like this before? Last time you saw them?
not unless Dad was wearing them.
Hmm.
So
Maybe dad
she's
is
going to put the
wearing them.
sock on her hand like a mitten.
Okay. Well, when she puts the sock in her hand, like a mitten, and of course, Lorg has color for you, most definitely.
Lorca gasped. It's you changed it.
Changed what?
The socket. It looks like you now. It uh, doesn't. It has color.
It had color before.
Uh,
What about these? And she points to her the shoes, the galash and the pink tennis shoe.
Nice.
but oh, those have color. They were different in size, but they were the same color before, and they're totally not the same color.
No. Oh.
The back door opens, as one of the coat sleeves just reaches up and grabs it, and then the blob of clothing with two shoes walks out the back door.
Are you going? I need to follow it. Are you coming?
Uh, certainly. Um, yes, I will go with you.
I'm Ellie, by the way.
Oh, I'm Lord L.
It's very nice to meet you.
Yes, it's interesting to meet you too.
So, how do we stop my dad's clothes from walking away?
You're certain that's not what they're supposed to do? They don't do
Mm-hmm.
that, haven't done that before?
Mm-mm.
Hmm. Maybe we should talk to it? We should ask them not to walk away. Isn't that how you greet clothes in parents' bedroom or parents' closet?
No, but we could try it.
Nice. So I assume that you two are following the clothes. Okay, cool. So the clothes went around the back door and started walking towards the kind of the front of the farmhouse, but from the outside, and walking towards that little village that you had seen, skirting around the big divots from the bombs that had been dropped. And yeah, so the two of you are walking behind, talking about your strategy, how to handle the dad's clothes from parents' closet. What is it that you do, Ellie?
So she'll bound out in front of the clothes and putting on her best, like talking to an adult that's important voice. She'll say, "Could you please stop walking?"
The clothes stop walking.
She looks very pleased and gives Lorg a big grin.
It worked.
Where are you going? Can you talk?
There is no response from the clothes man.
Oh. How? She leans around it because like I can totally see it where like with the bundle like you can't see Ellie, so
Oh,
like the
that's so
camera pans
perfect.
back to Lorg and she like leans around it and she's like, well, how do I find out where they're going?
Quite the quandary. I've not met walking clothes before. Normally just lay around. This one seems to be quite assertive. Um, well, I guess we can. It's, it, we can follow it.
Can we
It
come with you?
obviously has a destination in mind.
Hmm. Well, can we come with you?
The clothes start walking again. It just do like a little shift of the feet. They start walking around, then shift the feet, and then walk around to you, and continue its little beeline. You see there's a trail up ahead, a dirt trail at the end of the farmland.
Oh, I'm
I
going to assume
guess
that's a
that is
yes.
a yes.
Cool. So we kind of cut ahead, and the way that we know time has passed is that we've gone into a bit of the forest here, and it's grown dark. How is it that Ellie is able to light her way? How she's able to see?
So I think the leaves in this forest reflect moonlight.
That is amazing. They totally do. Yes, a sock
Oh,
torch would be hilarious.
I'm not allowed to play with matches.
So the leaves here reflect moonlight, and so you have this like dappled light that is the moonbeams that kind of crisscross each other. And it's actually all in the forest. It's a little brighter during the evening than it is during the day. And so many of the forest creatures sleep during the day and they are awake at night. And the clothes man is just trudging along the little trail when you see a jet black creature that has 4 legs, moves from behind one of the lit trees, the many-leafed trees, and it's very tall and willowy, and it's indefinite in its gender, but it does have like a head. It is humanoid, except for the 4 legs. Kind of throws off the humanoid, but close enough. And it says, "Who are you two?"
I'm Ellie, and this is Lorg's, and this is Lorg, and this is Dad's clothes.
I said, "Who are you two?" I already know about the clothes. What are you doing?
We're following Dad's clothes.
Why are you following Dad's clothes? Are you spies from the mountain?
No, no. She looks kind of panicked to Lorg because she doesn't really know what that means. Except it sounds bad.
We're not spies. Ellie merely comes from parents' closet and visits this area. And we were wishing to follow Dad's clothes. She seems to be quite interested in where they go, but not like a spy would be.
This 4-legged willowy creature reaches a shadowy hand inside itself and pulls out what looks like a crisp white piece of paper and folds it out. You can see its eyes, they gather enough light to glow. And it says, "On the official map, there is no parent's closet. It's a lie. She's obviously a spy." Folds the map back up and pushes it inside himself, and then pulls out a little bow.
But it turned into Dorinder.
That makes no sense. You're not a very good spy.
The parents' clothes, Dad's clothes, and Ellie both came out of Doringer. I was watching.
Your story is changing. I do not understand. You say Dorinder, you say parents' closet. There is a Dorinder. This much is true. The rest seems specious. And so now I think that we have a challenge. Do we not?
Yes.
Feels like a
Sounds
challenge
like
to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have a challenge. How is it that Ellie, by the way, you have a -2 to your roll because someone got in trouble earlier.
Sorry.
And so your goal here is to, I assume, follow Dad's clothes past this guard.
Yes.
And we will call him the Shadow Demon because I like the Dungeons & Dragons cartoon. So there you go.
That seems totally fair. Just saying.
So what is it you wish to do in facing this?
Yeah. I will be heroic.
Excellent. This is your first time being heroic because you just want to be successful. You have earned enough drama points that if you wished to help Companion, you could choose to do that.
I would. I didn't know if I had to declare before or after, but yes, I would like to help.
Oh, that is a good question. I don't know if you have to declare before or after either.
I'm fine. I can declare. It doesn't really state, so I don't know why I came up with the idea after.
Get in trouble. Help the heroine.
I'm assuming you have to help before because you have to use Remember a Way Out after.
That makes sense.
I definitely think is before, just from the way that it's described. Pay 1 drama point to describe your companion helping the heroine and tell the heroine player she receives a bonus or a challenge roll this chapter. So I think it is beforehand. That costs 1 drama point, which I get.
Okay. And I'll go ahead because I am going to help her. What exactly, how is Ellie trying to get past this? And that'll kind of inform how I help. Are you just trying to get around this shadowy demon, or are you trying to fight it?
So I think I'm going to try to pay for our passage with the magical color changing sock.
Ooh, nice.
Because that seems important.
Which is only magical to the colorblind shadow. Awesome.
Okay.
But you have a plus to your roll. So I still an Eskimo here. This is awesome. Let us see you be heroic. So with be heroic, you're going to roll 2d6. You get a +2 to your challenge roll. And that means that you need an 8 or higher, but you have that 2d6 +2. So let's see how it goes.
I think I'm rolling flat because I think I have a penalty from...
You're right. So your help negates. Thank you. Your help negates the negative. So you got in trouble, and now you're going to help. But you're net 2 drama points from getting in trouble and helping. So this is hilarious. I love the mechanics of this. That's really neat.
So it's an 8.
That is fantastic. All right, be heroic. On a 7 or lower, you fail to overcome. If the total is 8 or higher, the heroine succeeds in overcoming the challenge. Describe the heroine responding to the narrator's challenge in a clever, daring, or kind manner.
So he takes out his little bow,
Mm-hmm.
and as she's looking at them, or looking at it, she notices that it's kind of shivering a little bit. So she, like her initial reaction to the bow was obviously fear, but then she kind of timidly steps forward, says, "Are you cold?"
And then the bow says, "Yes, I'm terribly cold. He keeps me in his chest, and it's so cold."
Well, what if you wore a sock on your arrow? That would make you warmer.
I like socks. I've seen socks. I would wear a sock.
So she'll kind of reach out and fit the arrow with the sock.
Yeah, the
It's
guard,
like a
the
long
four-legged
sock.
guard. The four-legged guard. He kind of lets you have the arrow. He seems bewildered by this. He looks apologetically to the bow, as if, "I never knew that you were cold in my chest."
Oh.
And so then you put the sock on the arrow, and the bow says, "I feel so much better." Well, a spy would never do this.
Oh, I'm sorry, Lorg.
Yeah, how does Lord feel about you've lost a sock?
Well, I think at first there is that alarm of, but that's mine, and you were going to give it back, but you gave it away, but then realizes, yes, this is the way he could help. It's by allowing her to keep the sock.
Cool.
And so kind of that determination kind of nods briefly and just...
Your shadow demons, the guard has been defeated, and you can chase off after the walk-in close. As you continue on your little path, and it gets deeper into the night, and it is pitch black except for the moonbeams on the leaves. It's very cold, and yeah, you're starting to shiver. If only you could possibly just maybe grab some of those clothes off of Dad clothes and wear the jacket if you want to catch up. At this point, you are coming up to a small bridge over a little river, and Dad's clothes is walking towards the bridge.
She'll suffer in silence for a little while until she starts really shivering. And then she'll say, "Lorg, Do you get cold?
Uh, if I understand cold, then no, I don't.
That must be nice.
Cold is that part where people stand around and shake and chatter when they talk, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, I never chatter when I talk.
Sorry. So then she'll kind of take a few steps forward and, excuse me, Dad's clothes?
Dad's close stops.
Can I borrow a jacket, please? I'm cold.
Dad's close does not move.
So she'll reach up and pull a jacket out of the bundle.
Cool. For just kind of that connection, because we've already seen it, it'll be the exact same jacket before that she was wearing when she was studying. And it is as warm or warmer now as it was then, and a lot more welcome.
Oh.
And then Dad's clothes starts walking again. Walks. You hear the clip clop of the loafers, less of a clop. The dress shoes are much more. So it's like a as she's heading over the wooden bridge over the babbling brook. I assume you guys follow.
Oh, yeah.
Cool. As you do, you hear a very loud female voice rumbling up from the river itself. Say, "Oh, excellent. Excellent, too. That is so good. Pay the toll."
Toll.
Yes, it's a toll bridge.
Shouldn't there be sign or something?
I'm the sign, more or less. You know, you can always not cross, or try to wade the river. The pixies won't like that.
There are pixies? It's like
Yes.
Tinkerbell?
No.
They're quite annoying.
Well, what's the toll?
Oh, well, you must share with me a happy memory. And then you see this big, meaty hand come up over the side of the bridge, and it's all green, and the nails are somewhat cracked, and then a head pops up, and it's one of those like total Jim Henson heads, like it's the size of both of you, broad, and it's a female, and she has a very long nose and stringy hair, and looks kind of gross, and her voice, her breath is fetid. It smells like old fish bones.
Hi.
Who are you? I don't know you. You look weird. Why are you wearing Dad's clothes?
Because I was cold.
Oh, well,
And she is not weird. She is Ellie.
I'm Ellie.
oh, it is your name. It is nice to
Yes.
meet you. I am Belinda.
Hi, Belinda. So you want me to tell you about a happy memory?
I do. And just to keep everything above board, she uses her hand, like it kind of moves up, and you hear the sound effects like. Just keep everything above board. If it's not happy enough, I will eat you. No offense.
Quite
It's
rude.
just business.
Will she really eat us, Lork?
I've heard stories, but yeah, I think she very well could. It's quite rude, I think, but yeah.
I hear you. It's a living.
Okay. So Ellie screws up her little face. Thinks really hard. I could tell you about my last birthday party.
birthday party? This sounds interesting. Go on.
Well, it was my last birthday party, and I wanted to go to the arcade. So we invited everyone in my class at school, and we put them all on Hello Kitty. Do you know what Hello Kitty is?
I don't even know what an arcade is. I'm very confused.
Oh, okay. So an arcade is a place people go to play games. And if you're really good at the games, you can win prizes.
Do any of these prizes include death?
No. It's stuff like balloons or like really big pencils that are like this big, or confetti.
That sounds wonderful. I would like to go to an arcade. You were going with all of your friends into a Hello Kitty?
Oh, no, the invitations were Hello Kitty invitations. Hello Kitty is, well, she's a little kitty, and she's cute. She's got a bow and a little dress. She's my favorite.
I like dresses. Go on.
And we went to the arcade. And my mom and dad were there, and all my friends were there. And they have a game called skee ball. And my dad is really good at skee ball. Really good at skee ball. You throw a little ball and you try to get them into holes that are certain points. And if you get enough of them, you get a prize. And my dad spent the entire time at the skee ball machine. And when he was done, he came up and handed me the biggest prize they had for my
What was
birthday.
this prize? Was it a severed human head?
No, it was a Hello Kitty doll.
The same as the invitations.
Yes, because she's my favorite.
It is interesting. It's very flexible, this Hello Kitty.
And then I think
Why
Ellie
is it
gets
happy?
excited.
Because of the item? The
No,
Hello Kitty doll?
kind of. But it's mostly happy because that was the last time we all went out together as a family. And then Ellie gets sad.
Belinda kind of, her head tilts back for a second, and she sees that last emotion and says, "No, I think this is sad. That's not happy. I don't feel happy."
Well, it was happy until the next day. It's a good memory. I had a lot of fun. And I still have the Hello Kitty doll. I'll always have the Hello Kitty doll.
What happened to your family?
My mom and dad decided they didn't want to be together anymore.
What did you do?
I don't know.
That's confusing.
I
Your
still
story went on too long. You should have stopped at the Hello Kitty. The rest of it is all sad. I don't think I can let you over the bridge.
Oh.
Meanwhile, the dad's clothes are continuing. You can see there's like a little bush area. The trail goes through. Dad's clothes are just kind of hit the bush and went through. Belinda seems confused and also does not seem to want to let you through the bridge with your happy story. So this sounds like a challenge to me. What do you wish to do? It's entirely possible that Belinda was lying the whole time. She is a troll.
I didn't want to ask her if she was a troll. That seemed rude.
Sorry. She was trolling you. Anyway.
Look at you.
My son would have lost his mind at that joke.
I liked it. Mm. See, I kind of feel like I want to use all three of these options, but I don't like the
Right?
take a chance option. It is so weird.
I know they're all kind of cool. So, do you want her to look kind and compassionate? Do you want her to look kind of like fed up with your crap, or do you want her to just like beg or something?
Um, I let's see. I might go with be successful.
Okay, that sounds fantastic to me. Is there anything our companion is doing? Because he's been rather quiet. In fact, I think he was. What was he doing during the storytelling?
Well, when the story stopped, he kind of plopped down on the ground and just kind of put his hands in his chin and just sat there and listened, enraptured.
That's so cute. So anyway, if
But
if you can
yeah,
think of a thing and you want to do a thing, let me know. Otherwise, we'll hit the dice.
I think I'm gonna save and maybe remember a way out, but that's if the challenge is unsuccessful. So,
Awesome.
You are clever. Very well. You, player, Heroine, you're going to be successful. Roll 2d6. You have it's a flat roll for you.
Oh my god.
oh no.
Oh my god. It's a three.
That's awesome. Okay, so
Oh, that's so good.
So I guess I'm paying 2 drama points to.
Uh, So I think what happens is
yeah, this is a weird one because you chose to
yeah,
be successful. That means you
right,
still managed to overcome the challenge, which was to
Oh,
get to the other side of the bridge, right? To
right.
to continue to follow. Right. So,
I think this is the point she just kind of bursts into tears.
oh, that's awesome. Blaine is kind of horrible.
She is kind of horrible.
She is, yeah, she's the worst. Yeah. Good. So that makes sense to me. So that you start crying, and Belinda like looks around, and then you see, or maybe the camera sees, there are like these little blue faces. They're all cherubic. They appear up out of the water, and they're looking up at the crying girl, and Belinda looks down like motions towards the pixies like away. Just go, go. Oh, oh, you're snotting all over my bridge. Yeah, this is weird. So you're successful, right? So
Hmm.
do we want to remember a way out here? I don't
Well, I
know.
think
it
I
it
think
looks
just
like
because I'm successful, like it doesn't mean that something awful doesn't happen. Is how I read it.
That's true. That's true.
it looks
Okay,
like
let's backtrack for a little bit before it says before Belinda. Oh, here, we'll just pick up. Go, go. And then she reaches down with a huge meaty hand and just grabs you and picks you up. You need to stop crying. All right? Just stop crying.
at this
That's
point.
sure to help.
She's the worst. Belinda's the worst. She's not the worst, the worst. I haven't introduced the antagonist. Belinda, though, is a meaning of the antagonist, so,
Mm.
I remember you see Lorg. Uh, think back to when just a few minutes that Ellie passed on the sock to the shadow demon, and remembering that he has a tie tied around his head, he slithers up um, Belinda's back and ties the tie around her eyes because that it's well known fact that when trolls are blinded, they actually get weakened. Uh, so that causes Belinda to drop Ellie, and of course then I grab her hand and we run.
that is fantastic. I love it. Yeah, so the Belinda becomes weak, and she's blinded by the tie. You can see the cat in the hat. It's covered up her eyes. She drops you. You fall down, kind of hands and knees onto the wooden bridge, and then hand in hand, you and little Lord, you run across the bridge, and she's bellowing like, "Hey, pixies, can you untie this for me? A little help, please!" And they're giggling like, "Ha ha 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 ha! Oh, that was a good one. Did you see what he did? That's great. Good job, Lord." And then you take
Give a
off.
thumbs up to the pixies.
They're like, "Yeah, man."
Oh, God.
Cool. So we're coming like 20 minutes in from our normal end time. We had a really late start because we mostly wanted to hang out. I'm really glad for the hangout. It was super fun. But I'm not sure we're going to be able to get to a like satisfying conclusion unless Rich cheats some in his vague understanding of the rules. Just saying. Cool. So then we skip ahead a little bit. There were some other scenes that happened, but they were cut. They end up on the editing room floor. They'll be in the Blu-ray release. You know, somebody wants the full director's cut or whatever. The 2.5-hour version of this game. Well, like 4-hour version of this game. You know, all Peter Jacksonified.
Extended edition.
Yes, but we're coming into so you eventually follow Dad's clothes to the village, and through the village, you know, you're heading up the trail to the castle, and so we're totally like, this is interesting. Let's see where we go here. Rich hasn't even introduced an antagonist, and so this is seat of the pants stuff. We'll see how this goes. This is where I'm relying upon 2 excellent role players to help us make this a satisfying conclusion.
3, Rich. 3.
You guys are the 2. I'm just here. Okay. Whew. Man, shit. I got enough points. I want to introduce my antagonist. Dang it, that's what I want to do. All right. Yeah, because so narrator is being dramatic, may pay drama points in order to introduce the antagonist into the scene in an active way. Allows me to inflict both an injury and a division. I didn't want to do division because it's a 2-player game. The idea of making Will sit out a whole nother chapter seemed like a little more dickishness than I want to pull off. So I'm not using division. Then we have multiple characters, and we had understood the rules well enough to have him slide in and just play other NPCs. It probably could be fun. It's just not something I'm choosing to do this time through. So that limited my B dramatic options. Cool. Okay, so Dad's Close is headed up a cobblestone walkway from the village, which is all like in my head. It's like a glockenspiel kind of German village with like oompa bands and stuff like that, and people in lederhosen, because that just stuff cracks me up. So that's you're leaving that. That's all that's in the director's cut. So you headed up the kind of golden colored cobblestone walkway that heads to the castle in the forest here, and it doesn't look. I mean, it's a castle, right? But it's a lot of older stone. It's not like a shining silver castle that you saw far off in the distance up to the east. This is the western castle, and Dad's Close is walking up the cobblestone walkway, and when Dad's Close gets maybe like a couple hundred feet from the gate, which, by the way, the gate is open, there is an ice queen that appears, and that's all Rich trying to cut to the chase here, because we're like 19 minutes away. So Rich has fast forwarded all the boring stuff. There's talking. Oh, ice queen, cool. And I'm totally pulling out all the stops here, so the ice queen is actually going to be played by, and I've had this name until 5 seconds before I was going to say the name. Come on, who's the person who's in every amazing? She played the White Witch in Narnia, and she's also in Ice Piercer, and also was in Constantine, and dang it!
Tilda Swinton, is it?
Yes, it is Tilda Swinton. I just slobbered all over myself. I was so excited. Wow, horrible. Okay, so Tilda Swinton plays the Ice Queen here. And she appears in front of Dad's clothes, and she says, "No, this will not do. These clothes should be returned. Child, you may have these clothes and return them to your world."
Why won't they do?
They don't belong here. Everything should be kept in its proper place.
But they've come so far.
Doesn't matter. Where have they come? She looks behind her. To this dirty old castle? Nothing's clean in here. It will serve no purpose. We just lie around.
But they want to be here.
Why should I care what some clothes want? It's not proper. They are from another world. You should return them there. Go ahead. You may take them. That's what you wanted all along.
She looks to Dad's clothes. She looks to the castle. She looks back to the Ice Queen person and narrows her little eyes. And she says, no. If he wants to be here, he gets to be here. That's not your decision.
She has a little ice scepter. She taps her hand and says, "Oh, Ellie." She moves forward past Dad's clothes. Dad's clothes starts walking slowly up again, like trying to sneak past, and she puts an icy hand on your shoulder. She's way taller than you. She's like 6 feet tall. And, yeah, and she looks down at you, and she's got like icy brows, and her hair is like it's perfectly coiffed, but then it's frozen as well. When she breathes, there's just like this puff every once in a while, and she says, "Oh, Ellie, you do not understand your place. You do not belong here, and neither do those clothes. I'm going to ask you one last time. Leave."
Not until you let the clothes in.
You are being defiant. That's awesome. What is going on with Lorg right now? Let me ask you this question, Lorg. Are you the only one of your kind?
No, I think there's other shadows. Usually they're attached to mortal, corporal beings.
So what did the Ice Queen do to your to some of your other shadows? What's she known to have done to them?
I think those who, like me, who have separated, she captures them, and she's been known to like trap them in some kind of jar or crystal.
Oh, she's got a little necklace on with like these little crystals that all have little shadowy shapes that float around in it. 13 of them.
Yeah. 13, yeah. Yeah, so I'm kind of conflicted because I want to help Ellie, but I'm scared of my little mismatched booties. I'm probably just looking back and forth between the two and not able to do anything at the moment, I think.
Awesome. So you are a little indecisive, and our protagonist, our heroine here, Ellie, has said that he can do what he wants. She just casually flicks her little ice scepter over, and Dad's clothes is frozen in like a block of ice. And she just tinkles a little laugh.
You can't do that to him. Let him go.
I have done that to him. I'm sure it will melt when you take it back to your home where you belong.
I'm going to try to steal her scepter.
Nice! That sounds amazing. That is so be heroic. And I don't think you've ever used be heroic. This is your second time being heroic, right?
Right.
I mean, you can be heroic unless you don't want to be heroic. What?
Oh, I do want to be heroic because this is for
That.
Dad's clothes.
And before we hit the dice, is there anything that does Lord just you haven't gotten in trouble? Oh my goodness, you found a
Yeah.
way out, and oh yeah, you're host, dude. We're gonna have to work on that economy. Rich did not give you enough opportunities to get in trouble.
You know, I think you do, actually. I have an opportunity here, especially with Ellie deciding to stand up. With the clothes being frozen and knowing that Ellie loves those clothes, Dad's clothes, I charged the queen, the ice queen, and
That's awesome.
and like go up and just like swirl around her face and her head, just trying to be distracting, basically.
Oh, that's amazing.
Knowing that this might be, because obviously she can capture me, but yeah.
I think you're getting into trouble. Then that sounds like getting into trouble to me. So let's see what it is. So roll 2d6, and we'll see how much trouble you're in there, young shadow creature.
Roll good. Don't betray me now, dice.
Roll
8.
Ooh.
Ooh, that is so cool. So, oh no, I'm sorry. If it's 8 or
wait.
lower on getting
Yep.
trouble. Oh, this is not at all like Powered by the Apocalypse. Anyway, you gain 3 points. Yeah, so I am going to, and I spent. Make sure okay. So I featured the antagonist. That takes away 2 of my points. Sorry, I got to do a little bit of accounting here. Make sure I don't hose it. So I've got 1 point left, and this is back up. But then you gain 3 drama points, so I take it back down. You give yourself 3 drama points for Lorg. And I can spend. Well, it should be. Yeah. Make sure I've got my math right. It should be a total of 14. You've got 3 drama points. I've got 1. So the kitty should be 10. There we go. All right. And then I am. Are we at chapter? Oh, Rich did a bad job of tracking chapters. First chapter. I think we're after chapter 3. Because.
Oh yes.
In
More
the
challenge.
I thought we were ending at chapter 3.
No, so I don't have to pay any. Screw this whole. I don't have any economy or budget anymore. Fine, you, Lord, you start getting pulled into the 14th crystal, and that is what's going on with you. So it's like you're starting to get pulled into one of the little crystals on her thing, and she's laughing as you, Ellie, start grabbing for the scepter, and so yeah, Lord, things not looking too good for you, companion. Sorry, bro.
Oh.
Not looking good at all. So, yeah, you got yourself into a bit of trouble, but you get yourself the ability to try to do something if you can think of it. Good luck. And also, by the way, you have a -2 for your challenge roll, Ellie, because, yeah, it looks like your only friend, which would be Dad's clothes, and Lorg are both hosed.
They've been put on ice.
Oh!
Okay, so I'm rolling at a -2.
You're rolling at a -2 unless Lorg's doing something about that.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of what I could do.
Cool. Good talk through options. If you want to ask for help, I often do.
Yeah, I'm trying to distract the queen, and I don't know if I can do something to disrupt the crystals as I'm being sucked into this one. Cause a little focus on me. So
you get pulled into the crystals, which, you still have your hands, and Ellie's reaching for the scepter, so you could try to do something along those lines, like, I'm willing to go down if I help out with the scepter kind of deal.
Yeah, I try to push the scepter closer as I'm being sucked in. Of course, that means I'm going to have to give up trying to resist being sucked into the crystal.
Yeah.
To be able to push the scepter closer to Ellie.
Oh, I love it. It's like watching the movie 9. Oh. So that happens.
Yeah.
That happens. You're in a flat roll then. Lucky you.
Scared to roll the dice.
Don't make my sacrifice in vain.
Oh, thank God. It's a 9.
Nice. Okay, so on an 8, the total is 8 or higher, the heroine succeeds in overcoming the challenge. Describe the heroine responding to the narrator's challenge in a clever, daring, or kind manner. So, what do you do to defeat Amelia, the Ice Queen, as she tries to put you down and send you back to this other world,
So
parents'
she's so
closet?
incredibly tall, right? Like, even if Ellie had jumped, she would not have been able to reach the scepter. So the fact that um, Lord was able to push it down is actually kind of the only reason Ellie's able to get her hands on it, because he pushes it down and she snatches it from the Ice Queen. And I'm absolutely sure the Ice Queen looks very dubious and incensed.
Yes.
And she's left holding the scepter and she doesn't quite know what to do with it, so she does the only thing she can think of, which she throws it down to the ground as hard as she can and shatters it.
Oh man, that's awesome. Oh wow, that is so cool. So yeah, it shatters, and then the ice around Dad's clothes shatters, and then the other crystals around her neck shatter, as do some other various and sundry things that were involved in village things. But so we don't really have the context. But if you'd seen the whole thing, you'd know that those things shattering also plot important. Those shatter, and then she kind of shrinks down. She's no longer 6 feet tall. She's like your mom's size. Uh, and her hair starts to melt and it starts to hang down in her face. And Dad's clothes continues on at a little jog towards the gate. I guess might be smart if we start to move towards like some kind of epilogue as we bring
Mm-hmm.
things to a close for this abbreviated version of Heroine. So, what do you see? What do you see in your head for kind of the end of this little adventure for Ellie?
So she as Dad's clothes is walking up these steps, she's waving, and there's tears, but it's not like the outright sobbing uselessness from the bridge.
Nice.
She's wishing it goodbye and good luck, and then I think we kind of move to the goodbye with Lorg, which there's more hugging, poofy hugging,
Yeah, goofy hugging. He poofs up a little.
and more tears. And she was, and so she's got that awful Christmas sweater on, and it's one of the ones with the very clear like knitting style where it's you can see every strand, the big X's and stuff, and it's all these like really gaudy colors with like a really brightly dressed elf on it. And so she'll as she hugs him goodbye, and then she pulls that off and like fits it over him. I want you to have this, and
It is my very favorite.
Oh man, and I think as Ellie, I don't know, does she return home? I'm thinking that makes
I think
sense. But I
so.
wanna make sure.
Yeah.
As she does, we kind of have that moment where we see Lorg and he looks down at the Christmas sweater and it's from his point of view because that's how we revealed that he could see her in colors, that the sweater is still colorful.
He's just looking at it and hugging it.
Oh.
Cool, and then there's a music number, and that's the end of Ellie going back to Durinder and winding up back in parents' closet. And then there's this after credit sequence where she's uh, walking out of your parents' closet, and your mom is closing the front door. She calls out and says, "Ellie, everything okay?"
Everything's good, Mom. And I think it's so Ellie goes back to her room. And, like it's still that kind of sterile look, but like I think the camera picks up more color now. like, because there was a little hint of color before, but like, so Ellie like pulls back the blankets and like, they were pink blankets, and the sheets underneath are like a really vibrant like purple,
Ha!
and like like the closet doors open, and what would have been like all like it should have been like all neat and orderly, like it's a bunch of really brightly colored, kids colored things, and the folders in her backpack are all these bright colors, so like all these colors are now in the room.
Very, very cool. And so, from a shadow standpoint, is there anything that we pick up, player of lore, Will? Anything that we pick up, like little hints?
I think it's yeah, you get that the shadows just kind of slightly out of sync. Sometimes kind of
You maybe
indicates
see
it's not
those
quite with her.
little white eyes
Yeah.
that we saw from him out of one of the shadows. That's really
Hmm.
cool. Fantastic. Excellent. So that is our abbreviated play of Heroine or Heroine. And so we'll bring it to close. Thank you both so much. It was really fun giving this game a whirl. I feel like as I get to know it a little bit better, it's going to be a lot smoother. I really like some of the chapter structures and scene structures that at first I was worried about it being limiting. But I think if you think of chapters as not a full session and you just try to push through those chapters more quickly, I found it a little bit more comfortable as we go. And so it was fun. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Cool. I'll stop the broadcast here.